It's me, Renee. I'm back. So today I'm here. It's a Wednesday, and today I'm here for another. Haven't done one in a while, but this is a Waiting on Wednesday. In case you didn't know what that is, Waiting on Wednesday is like a blog or YouTube, booktube post. I mean, it's very common on book blogs, but you can easily do it on booktube as well. It's not that hard really, and uh, it's basically where you take a book that's available to pre-order, so a book that's 6 months or 7 months or 5 months from like in the future that's coming out, or basically an upcoming book that you're excited for, and you talk about it and you highlight it, or yeah, just talk about it and say like, this book sounds so cool. So that's what I'm gonna do today. Though yeah, it's kind of like, well, in a way, it's kind of argued. Should you talk about one book, several books? Often I answer this question when Jennifer Estep, she always does this every Wednesday, and often I answer it. But I haven't really done it. I was about to say I have done it for my booktube, but it's been a while now, really, and it's hard to do it. And yeah, so yeah, logically you might do one book, but it's waiting on Wednesday. And I think the question is like, what book, or in parentheses, books are you excited for? So you can do one. You normally I'd only do one, but today, you know what? I decided to go for more than one. So I'm doing one YA, I'm doing one adult. Sorry, I'm doing one YA, one adult, and one that's kind of a surprise. I'll just wait a bit to talk about that one. And yeah, let's start, shall we? Today also, I did the same thing as last week. I did my own creative, fun way of doing it. Because yeah, I'm a Luddite. I have no idea how to successfully show a cover on a video. So normally usually I just like have the link to books on Goodreads down below. But today I'm gonna do as I did last week. I am gonna show you my beautiful own uh, makings of the covers, or reimaginings of the covers. Not reimaginings. I did go to to Goodreads to like look what the covers look like. So I tried to recreate. That's the word, recreate. So yeah. First I'm gonna do the YA one because why not? Someplace you have to start. So this is Love and Olives by Jenna Evans Welch. It's the third book in this companion series. It's set in Greece. It's okay. The summary is that it's American teenager. She's going to Greece because her dad works in Greece. She hasn't had contact with him in years. But her dad invites her over, so they start like, okay, I'll try to do this. So she goes to Greece one summer to kind of repair the relationship. But the the asterisk, the add-on, is that not only is this like a story about like father and daughter trying to mend fences. No, her dad is a scientist who just recently found evidence or like clues to Atlantis. Atlantis! It's just so cool. I love Atlantis, the movie from Disney from 2003. Yeah, you know that movie. And I just love like mythical places in general. And I really think that there should be much more Atlantis movies and stuff. I suppose there are some, but there aren't really that many. And I would love just more Atlantis books, movies, all of it. There isn't really that much. So yeah, when I heard that this was about Atlantis, I was just, give it to me now! And yeah, so the books. This book comes out November the 10th. And yeah, it's also in her Love and series. So the first book that she wrote, and like that's part of the series, so it's like her only written, but very good. It's Love and Gelato. It's where I suppose it's kind of similar, where a girl goes to Italy to kind of meet her dad. She's never met her dad before, and she has like a clue to that her dad is an Italian or in Italy anyway. And that's like it's both very dramatic. Like, of course, she has to meet her dad who she hasn't met before, and also like she still has to kind of grieve her mom that died in cancer a few months before. So it's all this drama around that. But there's also some love story and gelato and cheesiness and niceness. And the second book is Love and Luck, where this girl goes to Ireland because her aunt is getting married there, and she ends up going on a road trip. That's more like her finding herself and more like about mending her fences with her family and herself in a way, I suppose. Yeah, I read that recently this summer. Honestly, I didn't feel it was that good, but it wasn't awful. So yeah, and both of those books have like characters in common that make cameos in both books. This book, I mean, it's called Love and, but I'm not sure how related it is to the other books. Though I suppose it could like be that the main protagonist in this one goes to the same school and something like that. That it's like more tangentially related. I don't know. Also, kind of funny fun facts. Jenna Evans Welsh. She wrote like this came out. Came out. This is coming out, as I said, in November this year. Love and Luck. I think it came out in like 2018 or something. So it's been a while since the last one. She had planned originally. Like, if you go to I was about to say YouTube, I suppose maybe there as well. If you go to Goodreads, you could find Love and I think it's called Love and a Midnight Sun. And she had originally planned to have a book that was set in Copenhagen, and that sounds so cool because as a Norwegian, it was just kind of fun to have a book by American set like close to me. That never like went off the ground. I think she ended up like throwing away the idea, but it just sounds so cool. So sadly that it didn't happen. It's still kind of a little fun fact I like. And yeah, so this one comes out November 10th, and yeah, sounds very cool. The cover is, I suppose, in a way, like this because it has like black, it has a white background, and then there's like wheel, and then there's a heart in the middle. So I kind of try to really recreate that. I'm not that good. I'm creative. I'm original. Okay, it's not like I'm a drawer like by profession. So yeah, it's charming, is it? That's what you say when it's not perfect. It's not. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's charming and just personal. And yeah, so let's get on to book number 2. Yes, The Dark Archives. Oh, sorry, Archive by Genevieve Cogman. This is the sixth book in her Invisible Library series. I have 3 of them here, and some of them I have lent away to friends. But yeah, I have 3 of them there. So this is what would you call it? It's an adult series, as always said. I would say, yeah, I think I heard something talk about a steampunk. I would say that's probably correct. Yeah, it's steampunk. It's steampunk and alternative history. So in this series, there's like a library that kind of controls like medals in parallel universes or parallel worlds, and they're the only one who can, well, one of the few can go to different worlds. And like, if a world is in peril, they might have a librarian who goes there to like, kind of like fix it up. So it's kind of like librarians, but they're spies, and it's just so fun. And there's also vampires and werewolves and witches and dragons, and it's just this world is just so rich and so awe-inspiring and so fun, so fun. Also, there's a love interest. There's a love story in it, but it's very slow moving, which I really enjoy. Like, it's not like boom. It's like very slow moving. And I really enjoy it. And yeah, this is the sixth book, as I said. It's coming out this fall. I remember last year. I remember like on some lists on Goodreads, it said like the book was coming out in the fall, and some lists it said it was coming out this year. That's because the author is from England. So in England and Europe, it's coming out in the fall, and it's probably coming out in the States next year. So that's why it's kind of like confusing publishing dates. But yeah, it will come out this year. So yeah, this is, as I said, the sixth book. Honestly, I'm not really that bothered to check out what the summary of this one is because it's part of the book, it's part of the series, and I just like I need all of that series. Can't not read any of that series, and yeah, yeah, so excited. I think something around it. It's supposed to be like around Irene Elder, that's protagonist or one of them. I think it's to be about like supposed to be around her family, so that sounds cool. And yeah, so yeah, very excited for this one. So excited. And then we're going to be talking about the last book. That's, as I said, surprise. And that is that I suppose also it's a surprise and a bit of a cheat. This book I'm going to talk about now is a book that's out in. It goes out in March 2021. So it's, well, now it's September, October, November, December, January, February, March. Oh yeah, exactly 6 months. So yeah, I suppose maybe I think sometimes you can't pre-order all books at 6 months ahead. I think some of them you can, and it's got a release date, so it's upcoming. And yeah, so the surprise or like the asterisk for this one is that I already read it, but it's coming out in English, so that's quite. I just kind of like I have to tell you about it. So it's, well, kind of slightly. I'm gonna use this as illustrations. It's the first book in this series. And so I was about to say, like, you can find. No, you can't find. Sometimes you can find like the different covers on the back. You can't on this one. But yeah, so it's the first in the series, which I always talked about in some videos. But as I said, as I often like kind of get stuff confused, and like, even though I love this book series, it's been a while since I read it, so I want to do it justice. So yeah, on Goodreads it already has a page. So I'm gonna read you the summary for that one. Odin's Child, an epic fantasy trilogy from Norway, but about 1,000-year-old secrets, forbidden romance. Forbidden romance, and what happens to those who make a deal with the devil comes at last to the United States. Well, I suppose that sounds a bit cheesy. It's not so cheesy. It's just so good. Yeah, I'm just gonna continue reading the rest, and then you'll be so into it. You definitely will. So yeah, 15-year-old Hirka has always been an outsider in a world of Im. She's the only person without a tail, and the only one unable to access the might, a current of power that runs through the earth. Sorry. Her differences become more and more of a concern as the date approaches for the rite, the ceremony, the ceremony where everyone is to be blessed by the all-knowing seer and a council of powerful families who rule in his name. With only a few weeks until the rite, Hirka discovers the shocking secrets behind why she is tailless and mightless. She is not from this world. As an infant, she was brought through an ancient stone circle known as the Raven Ring, and as long as she is in Im, the passageway between worlds remains open, inviting terrifying creatures called the blind to follow. So yeah, and this is a bit more to the summary, but yeah, that's kind of more or less it. And yeah, it's just an amazing series. Amazing. I read this series. So the first book came out in Norway when in 2013. So, my God, like 7 years now? No, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. 7 years. Yeah, 7 years. And it just kind of broke the best-selling list and all that stuff. It won lots of prizes in Norway, and lots of readers loved it. Well, loved and love it. And yeah, so when it first came out, I was, so 7 years ago, I was like 22, so I was above the age because it's a YA book. But I suppose kind of like depends. Like sometimes people like often I think people say like YA as they think YA means teen, but like YA is called young adult, so shouldn't you be able to read a young adult if you're like 20 or 22, 21? Because that's a young adult. I don't know. But yeah, anyway. So I read this when I was like 21, 22. So it's above the teen limits, but I still loved it so, so much. It kept me captivating from the first page. I was just like so entranced and it's so good. It's one of those books where at the beginning you get introduced to a world and it's just so rich and big. But like Hitka, she's from a small town, so she doesn't know all of the whole world. So first you get just introduced to Hitka and her small town. And then very quickly she has to move and she has to go to a big city, and she discovers a lot of the what she already knew is not true, and there's like a whole new world of stuff she doesn't know. So like things that are just flipped on its face. And then also there's different protagonists different characters that you meet. So there's different the multiple point of views. So if you love that, that's in there as well. And yeah, so throughout the first book, there's plot twist on plot twist on plot twist, but there's also just amazing world building, and it's just so amazing. And honestly, there's no complaints from this book, no complaints about the series at all. I mean, you can't complain at all, really. I suppose in a way, the only complaint I would have is it's kind of like difficult to sell it in a way because it's not like because it's so original. I mean, you can't say it's Harry Potter with this or Narnia with this twist or stuff like that. I suppose you could say it's slightly based on Norse mythology. The first book is called Odin's Child, and you kind of see some more Norse mythology elements in it, but it's not like this Odin and Thor and Balder and Freya and all those. I mean, it's just Odin's Child. Other than that, there's no more like there's not that much like direct references to Norse mythology. Not very much. You don't really have to be a Norse mythology fan to love this series. But yeah, it's just amazing. So in the first book, it takes place in just like this country, Im, or as it says in Norwegian, Imslanda. And then second book, they go parallel world traveling to our world. So really quite fun. They go to Italy, they go to Norway, they go to I think they go to Spain maybe. Sorry, England. There's lots of different places they go to. And then third book, they go to a third country in the third world. But there's still like lots of parallel worlds that you can go to. There's like it's full of parallel worlds, this universe. So it's just so open to all the opportunities and stuff. And it's just amazing. You definitely need to check it out. So a bit more like side check, no, background. Actually went to there's words. There was a release party for this book. This is the third book in the series. It came out in like 2015. Yeah, 2015. So I went to the release of this book, and because of like the impact on how big this series is, they had like there was not just a signing. It was like you can come to. It was actually at a pub, so you can come to a pub, and you had the author was there, and then lots of other authors were there who talked. There was some people from the publisher. It was like big to do. You got like a soup during the whole thing, and you also got some cake. I'm pretty sure it was a cake as well. And like there was cosplaying, there were the author talked about their journey, and the publisher talked about the journey, and you can get the book signed as I did. So quite fun, and you could all buy other books from the publisher, and it was just a big event really. And at this event, there was people from like there were 16-year-olds who came. Well, I suppose they weren't 16-year-olds because this was held at a pub, and normally I suppose it depends on pub, but normally that pub had like a 25-year-old limit. But because of this book series and it has so many younger fans, they said like, okay, you can be 21 to come there. So people from 21 till like actually it's like 60s went there. But like because of the big fandom from this book. The author, she went to like just outside the pub to like sign some books for like the teens, so they still could get stuff signed. And yeah, as I said, it was a big to do. Like people talk about how I had a great time at that place. Got to know some great people. Hadn't had fun with after much, but I got to know them. It was just great evening. And yeah, there's people like in the 60s who read it, people in 50s, both men and females, and people who love to read, people who haven't read. It spans so many individuals and touches so many lives, and yeah, it's just amazing, an amazing read. Definitely should be aware of it when it comes out. And yeah, that was kind of I was about to say, like, my little waiting on Wednesday. It's going to be a bit long. Most of it was about this book, but it's, well, not this book, but this series. But it's just so amazing. So I kind of had to talk about it. Couldn't, I can't stop myself. I just kind of had to share this and just make you aware of it. Like, read it when it comes out. Read it. Have it on your pre-order list for March, and just be aware it's coming next year. And it's just, yeah, so and yeah, I suppose, also like all the covers have like this aesthetic, so it's just so cool, like simple but just like so effectful. The first cover has like tail that's kind of like cut off, and you see blood, so it's kind of like, oh my god. So I suppose the covers might make you think the books are very gory and like that. It's not very gory. Yeah, there's scenes where like there's blood and stuff and there's fighting, but it's not like horror. It's not. So you can still enjoy it if you like skirmish like me. So yeah, check this series out. Was it this book, this series out, and also those other two books. And yeah, tell me a book that you're anticipating that's coming out this fall, or maybe in January also as well. And this is me saying Renee out.